Hi, everyone. Welcome to Talk to Us Today. And today it's just me, as you can see, very unfortunate. But today's episode is about my favorite subject. And I know Namita is in on this too because she loves reading these days. I am an avid reader, and everyone who's an avid reader knows we all go through reader's block, just like writer's block. Now, everyone knows what writer's block is. It's when you're a writer and you can't get yourself to pick up that pen and write that story, article, whatever. But I know that there is something called reader's block. Many people don't know this if you're not an author. If you're not a reader. But you look at the best book and you pick it up and you're just like, oh my God, I really want to read this, but I don't feel like picking up a book. What do we do? So I've come up with, and I'm going through a phase where I'm reading constantly and I'm loving it. And I'm like, it's been a while since I've been reading 3, 4 books at the same time. And it's really interesting how to do this. But I used to be in one book, start to finish, end it. Now I've changed. I'm like, okay, let me get into this. I'm not in the mood to read this. I go back to that. And I'm able to keep track. A lot of people say they can't keep track of what they're reading. But anyways, I can do that. Enough about me. Now I'm going to discuss my favorite tips on how to get over reader's block because I've faced it many times. So here we go. Tip number 1, start reading about reading. So I know we all pick up our phones here. I was looking for my phone. And then we're scrolling through Instagram and watching stuff we don't want to really. We're just addicted. We all know social media is addictive. So, when you say you don't have an addiction, put the phone down before you say that. But what you can do is when you have reader's block and you really want to read, because this is for people who enjoy reading a lot. Airplane above my head. I don't know if you guys can hear me. So anyways, so when we're scrolling through Instagram, there are some great book vlogs, okay? So there are a lot of people who talk about books, who talk about reading, which is something that I would love to do. And it's just about their best reads, the books, genres, the feel of books. They talk everything under the sun about books. Now, when you start, if you're a reader and you start reading about books, read an article, read a review, read the importance, the benefits of reading, which we all know, you feel like picking up that book. So my first recommendation is read about books, even if you're on social media, because the reason we're all not reading is a lot to do with this damn thing. Yeah, it's a great convenience, blah, blah, blah. But you know what? This is a pain in the ass. Number 2. So when you're reading, number 1, when you're reading or scrolling through social media, do it about books. Like try to go over those and you'll want to pick up, oh, that's a great recommendation. Let me order that book right now. That might. Number 2 is start small. So when you face a reader's block, a lot of times there are books. I mean, I'm sure if you're a real reader, you have the TBR like 100 books at least. So pick up a book. I mean, this was one of the books that I had a hard time going through, but it's short stories. Okay. So read small, read an article, read a short book, read a short story. Start small. Sometimes that helps you get into the love of reading again. So I would say start with short stories. Okay. So let's talk about tip number 3. Read a genre that's fun. Read a genre that you're not used to. So if you're used to reading self-help books, religious books, academic books, take a break from all that. Read a genre that you find fun. So my fun one that got me over a reader's block once was this, the Inheritance Games. And this is number 2. And it's like plots and twists and young adult. There's no such thing as should read, don't want to read. Don't do that. Don't do that to your brain because reading is a lot about leisure, about fun. Pick up this book, pick up any kind of book that you find fun and start reading it. Another one that I indulged in, and I'm not loving it, but it's really interesting, is this Miss Malini's Under the Influence. So it's about social media. I thought, why not try it out? It's fun. Number 3 is allocate a time when you'll read. So like, have a time slot, make time to read. Then switch off the phone, switch off whatever you don't want. I do keep the phone on for my music, but yeah, don't listen to the notifications and stuff. Listen to music, set the mood. It's like a romantic date with your book and lie there in bed or go to your corner, sit by the fireplace. It's cold. It's getting colder around the world, except for Australia, you guys. You're weird. And just pick up your cup of joe or pick up your cup of hot chocolate. get that favorite book in your hand and start reading. This really helps with getting over reader's block. Because when you set the mood, you're already telling your brain, this is special, man. I got to put my feet up. I'm relaxing. I got my favorite music. I don't want distractions. Guys, kids, get out of here. This is what I'm doing with this book. Because what a book. I'm sure I'm going to review it on our review therapy. There are rivers in the sky. Oh, and then pick up a great book, whatever book you want, and dive right into it. Don't put yourself on a time limit. Oh, I got to get to dinner. So when you set the time, just set it where you're relaxed. Like give yourself an hour slot and just sit back. If you read 15 minutes, you read 15 minutes. But set a time where you're not that rushed and you don't have 200 things going on. One more tip. What are we at? Number 4 or 5. Read with a buddy. Join a book club. I always tell people in my book club, come, even if you're not reading, come. You haven't read the book? Come on, join us. Because when you read that, when you get to a place where you're talking about books, you're like, maybe I should go back and read this book. So you don't have to keep up with it, but don't join a book club that's like English class back in grade 8 where you feel stressed. Join a book club where they say, you know what, come, enjoy, have the coffee, have the wine with us, come sit around, listen to us read. Because the energy, of sitting with people who are talking about books is a lot of fun. And my favorite, go to a bookstore. I guarantee, go to a library, get a library card if you can. Go to the library, go to the bookstore. When you're surrounded with creativity, when you're surrounded by great authors, great looking books. I know they say don't judge a book by the cover, but come on, I'm always surrounded with, look, these covers, but they just make you want to pick it up. Like, oh, you guys know this. I've reviewed the first one on this. I mean, oh, I'm a weirdo. I smell the books. I love books. Kindle, great for anybody. Read an audiobook. This is another tip. Read an audiobook if you just want to, because reading, it's just about getting into the written word, whether you're listening to it or whatever, to get over the reader's block. But I think all these tips may help. And I'm not even going to talk about the benefits of reading. The link is up there right at the end, the benefits of reading. It's always great. Get off social media, switch off technology, make a date with yourself, make your favorite drink, open the bottle of wine, and sit back and relax. This is the weather. This is the time. Enjoy. Bye, guys. Enjoy reading. Take care. Thanks for watching.